Hi everybody, Geraldine Rose here. This galaxy effect card is really pretty, so stick around if you want to find out how. This card was for both the 30 Days of Crafting and the Alt New Challenge live challenges. It was one where we had to use a watercolor background, use the galaxy effect on it, and die cut whatever focal points we wanted out of that background. There's some Canson XL watercolor paper taped down there, which I've spritzed over to start softening the fibers with a little bit of water. I've activated the colors that I've chosen in my 36 pan set as well. I want them to flow and blend quite a bit. I'm dropping them into that wet panel with quite a bit of water in the brush so that they actually start merging together. And this part is mesmerizing because just see it? Look at them go. They're just feathering into each other. It's like watching the crafting gateway drug heat embossing melt, right? Now, watercolor paints will dry quite a bit lighter than when they're wet. You need to build the intensity up by putting layer over layer over layer. They are transparent, so you can do that with watercolors. I went the quick route. I brought in the watercolor brush markers, which are a really intense watercolor. You can see I'm having to prime the water pen because this is the first time I've actually used this set. Just look at that drama starting to happen there. It's very intense. Now, you know, because I tend to practice that go big or go home, what else can I throw at this thing? We're going to add even more extra by bringing in the Lindy's Magical Shimmer Powders in blues and purples, and I can't remember what the other color is, but choose one that'll go with whatever colors you're working with. I have to dab the sides off because I've got so much ink running off the sides from the watercolor pens. You might think we're done, but oh no, my fine friend, you underestimate the depths of creative depravity in my mind. We're going to activate those shimmer powders with some distress sprays. So that's going to add even more shimmer over top. And I am soaking it with those. And do you think we're done yet? No, 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 no. This is picket fence. See the glorp? I always forget there's a glorp that comes out of the cap after I shake it. Doesn't matter because we're going to die cut that out. I can just avoid it. And it is actually going to disperse into the background. So they're a little bit fuzzy, a little bit blurry, like objects appear when they're farther away. You can see they've done that in the time it's taken me to grab out my Hero Arts That Shimmer Spray, which I'm going to use for the stars in the forefront because it'll be a finer spray as I'm tapping it on. There's another panel on the left that I had done for a second card for this challenge, which I'll try linking up above. First time I'm ever going to try doing that. You can see how much those blues and purples and pinks have lightened up now that they're dry. And you do want this panel to be dry before you remove your tape. It does help to not rip the cardstock. I'm tearing it back at an angle, again, so that I don't rip that card. Alrighty, on to the next fun part of our project. Grab out a stencil. I used the Stampers Anonymous, the Tim Holtz Sparkle Fade, and then some of my paste. So the Ranger Transparent and the Solar Paste, because they add an intense shine when you tilt it at certain angles. I'm smearing it down over pretty much the whole stencil in patches, but so that most of the stencil is actually covered because we need this back panel when it dries to have little spots of the paste with the different effects that they've got through different parts of what our die cuts are going to be. Stencil reveal! I let that dry for several hours naturally rather than taking the heat gun to it. The heat gun will give you a neat effect too where it'll bubble it up. And I like that sometimes, but I didn't want it on this particular one. I've also cut out some solid cardstock for the back layers so that they appear more in the shadow at the back of the flower. And those are tones of purples. I'm deepening around the edges with some ink on them to add some depth. You can see that this keyhole method, one's got a triangle and the other one has got like an arrow shape. The reference guide on the back shows you the way that you can layer those together. One of them is a little bit tricky. Is it this one coming up? Yes, it's this one. That you put it down in the triangle and then you flip it back. So you can see I've bent it. I folded it there to flip it back, but to glue it, I've got it open. And then I'm going to grab out my reverse tweezers. Those will help to hold those layers together while they're drying. Jumping over to the leaves. I've got out a few different colors of greens to augment the leaves with, which I cut in 2 colors of green cardstock. I'm just kind of slapping them down, the ink blending here in just different spots. It's going to be splotchy. It doesn't matter. Not only are those inks going to smooth out as they dry back, I do want a little bit of a splotchy effect so that the leaves match the flowers a little bit too, with everything that's going on top of those galaxy flowers. You can see up there at the top left that I've also die cut out the anthers for the top of the stamens out of some metallic gold cardstock. I'm going to augment just along the edges of those with a little bit of orange alcohol marker to cause some shadowing there. Just like so many leaves in nature that have got yellow spots at them, typically on the tips, we're going to do the same with these ones as well, ink blending a little bit of yellow just right at the tips. We are using some Ranger mica sprays to add that splurching effect that I was talking about earlier. And it's also going to bring a little bit of shimmer, not too much, not overboard like these guys are, the flowers. When I'm working with any die cut system for layering flowers or what have you, I tend to keep the package out because most of them now, especially Altenew, have got reference photos. They've got the guides on the back so that you can tell where you're going to put these into place. I have the anthers out. I'm setting them into place, and I want to make certain that I've got the right ones on each side of the 2 irises. Those little spots of glitter cardstock will add just another element of shine on there. Because there are 2 flowers with that on, they will actually have a repeating element and they will balance on the card. Well, we've got to pay a little bit of attention to the leaves. I'll keep the package out. I like to refer to it, flipping it over either for the reference guide or the photos that they've got on the front to see how they've done their layouts. The shorter, more squat leaves were for that second card, although I suppose you could put them in as weeds if you wanted. On to the inside of the card. We're using Timeless Sentiments 2 with the high for the front sentiment and the Painted Blossoms for the inside sentiment. In first with the blue ink, in second with the purple ink, in third with the Enchanted Gold ink over top. On the back, we have the custom stamp, of course. I always have to have that shot in the videos. I don't know why. I am putting the panel down. I deco edged it first, then ran it through the Dries Argyle folder. The diamonds on it I felt matched the pattern that was on the stencil. Before I put the enamel dots down, I modeled them with some alcohol ink. That's the finished card. All shimmery goodness. Look at it. It is just luscious. I hope you're all able to get some crafting time in and that you remember to be that change you want to see in the world. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.